Congrats to UConn. They really took hold of the game with that 10-0 run mid-second half. They played with great violence and force. There's obviously a lot more free throws in the second half than there was in the first half, and a lot of that's due to the way that they played, the aggressiveness with which they played. I thought we actually made them miss enough to win, but we didn't get enough of them back. They got 19 of those rebounds back, and Jalen Stewart had a thunderous tip dunk, but most of those offensive rebounds were below the rim, where UConn just did a phenomenal job flying around and getting some loose ones, running the balls by the sideline. And those second chances, were obviously enough to create a margin for them to win.
Shaka, defensively, what'd you see when on that play when Caravan hit the three with 20 seconds?
I told Alex Caravan, I said, that's what you do, man. He's a winner. Not only that he had to drive, a play or two before that down the lane line and lay up. What I saw was our guys did a phenomenal job for the most part in this game defeating screens, and way better than the last time when we played UConn at home, we were out to lunch. We were running into each other. Much better job tonight of trying to chase them off of screens. We weren't perfect. And the times where we did get hung up, we had to emergency switch. And so that occurred. And then the ball went down low. We went down to try to get it out of there. They got the ball out to Alex Caravan, and he did what he does. He's a winning guy. He's a guy that, has made that shot a million times, and he took it with no hesitation.
Coach, for much of that first half, it felt like UConn was in control, but you guys come out with a 4-point lead at halftime. What was the emphasis to come out in the second half? Because it just kind of went back and forth. Was there anything that you saw that could have turned the tide, or was it just the violence of the game that you talked about?
Yeah, I think that we had a lot of fouls early in the second half. These games are hard to officiate because there's a lot more fouls than that. On both ends, so I'm not going to sit here and say it should or shouldn't have been what it was, but I think it's really, really hard to play with great violence when you're also trying to not foul. And then, UConn they did a great job offensive rebounding on the times where we did stop them. They got the ball back. During that 10-0 run that they had, we got out of sorts offensively, and we were holding the ball too much. We didn't get to multiple actions. I thought, other than that stretch, our guys did a good job attacking matchups. UConn has a unique defensive style of play compared to how most teams play against us. They just don't really help as much, and they're fine with whoever switching on to Cam. So I thought Cam and Jop did a good job attacking. Obviously, wasn't our night shooting from outside. That would have changed some things for us as well.
How much of an effect did Samson Johnson have on this game?
Huge. Yeah, he was terrific. The way he offensive rebounded, had a big one that he tipped out late. Made a good pass there at the end. He was terrific. They've got a really, really good two-headed monster there at the 5 spot. Terrace Reed's been playing his ass off of late. Tonight it was Johnson that, Danny, he does it. Danny's a winning guy. He's going to play which guy's playing better, and that's what he's been doing. But when they're both contributing and they're both, helping you win, that they're a real load for us to handle. We don't have the biggest, strongest front line in the world. I thought our guys fought and battled. We got to keep getting better. There's a lot of things that we can take from this game.
Coach, you mentioned the thunderous dunk by Stewart, and that came just as Terrace got the ball up on the rim with 1 second left on the shot clock. That pulled him within one. How big was that one play, momentum-wise?
Well, I thought it was big for the crowd. It really, really kind of made the crowd explode. I thought our guys, our response all night long was pretty good, except for again, during that stretch where they went on the 10-0 run. So I don't think we flipped out, but that was a heck of a play. That's why, that kid's been talked about as having so much potential.
What explanation did you get for the delay to start the game? What's going on there?
I said it was a leak in the roof, and it was leaking on the baseline. So I didn't come out. I was in the locker room, but they talked about canceling the game if it didn't get addressed. So I told Danny we'd go across the street to the practice gym if we had to, but I'm glad we could play the game here.
Coach, what did you say to your team in the locker room? You played well enough to almost win this game. What did you say to your team, and do you take anything away from this game?
Yeah, we take things away from every game. The way that we want to go about things, we want to grow as much as any team in the country from each of these experiences. And then we want to multiply each other when the time most demands it so that we can overcome the challenges that we face. And when you play in games like this, you're going to face a lot of challenges. You just do. On the road, this type of environment, championship program. I told the guys I'm proud of them. I told the guys we don't have a lot of time to, mope around and feel sorry for ourselves because we got another game on Saturday early, and it's late tonight. So usually, I have a hard time, flushing losses, but I have to lead the way for our team and set the example for that because Saturday's senior day.
Last one, Ben.
How was Cam able to take advantage of those switches that they are talking about here?
Cam Jones is a great player. He's, I think that for the last 2 years we've had the best guard in the league, and I think that it's probably hard to officiate, but man, he's attacking every time, getting down there, and I thought he did a good job handling contact. Obviously some possessions that he'd like to have back, but him and Jop really carried us on the offensive end today. For us to win, from a scoring standpoint, we probably need one more guy to jump up there and score a couple more, but at the same time, you look at the 3-point number, the biggest numbers there are 19 offensive rebounds, and UConn as a program deserves credit for that because that's just who they are. It's in their DNA.